Hi Michael, yeah I'm good. Yourself?
Not so bad. Just tell me about the break. How that felt to be looking on as the lads were away, and what sort of work you got done in the break since you last played.
I suppose we got a couple of days off to I suppose re-energise after a big block of games, and then we were back in last week and yeah straight back to work with Stu and Leo here. So got a good full training week in. Got sort of ahead of the curve in terms of Toulouse prep and yeah getting ready for a big game. And then obviously looking at the lads' performances over there. So we would have reviewed the lads' performance against the Lions game last week and looked at that, and it was an incredible performance by them and brilliant for them to get the result down there. Yeah, so it was a good 2 weeks, Michael. Thanks.
So what's the biggest difference in the training when there's so many of the squad away? Do you have to tailor it, or do you get the academy guys in to run against you?
Yeah, we're lucky enough to have a crop of lads up from the COE down in Donnybrook. So a good few of the under-20s lads came up. I suppose the likes of Gus McCarthy and a few of the lads who didn't travel but are preparing themselves for their World Cup now in June. So they're a talented bunch of lads and the I suppose the next up and coming generation. So we're lucky enough to have them to get a bit of 15 on 15 work, and it was still very tough and still a lot of good work done.
It looks James Lowe's lost his fitness battle, and like there's no escaping it that when Leinster are on form like they normally are, there's a lot of weight put on James's left boot and how he can get you into position and how useful a weapon it is. How do you compensate for that loss, or does it involve a change of tactics from your end?
Yeah, it's disappointing not to have Lowy involved, especially the sort of the finals and the rugby. Yeah, it's good that he puts his weight to use with that left peg of his. So it is a good asset, but we're lucky enough to have a few left footers in the squad, whether it's Jimmy or Jamie Osborne. So it's just about tweaking a few things. Like I suppose one of the advantages in playing in such a competitive squad that has a lot of depth is that if there's a few injuries, there's always lads with their hand up, ready to I suppose slot in anywhere and always performing when they do get those chances.
Just last year's semi-final was probably one of Leinster's best of the season to win against Toulouse, but I presume Toulouse will feel that they could have played twice as good, and that they didn't really show up on the day. I presume now you're expecting a much better complete performance from Toulouse.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have looked at that game and reviewed it and taken a lot of lessons out of it, and are probably still a bit bitter and hurting from it. So I suppose it's something we have to be aware of as well. But I think at the same time they're the ones with 5 stars, and they got there before us. So it's something that's motivating us. So we have to find things like that to keep driving us on and keep pushing us forward.
How do you make sure that it doesn't feel like extra pressure on you, and that you are able to channel that into motivation to get the 5th star? I mean,
I suppose using it in the right ways, using it as a motivator, but not letting it get seeping into your mind, into your thoughts. I suppose it's been a disappointing last few seasons in terms of Europe, losing in a final, in a semi-final and quarter-final. And a lot of us haven't won a Heineken Cup, so it's definitely probably the number one goal for us this season, and for us collectively and a lot of us individually as well. So we're definitely not going to be shy of motivation. And then even to just look at Toulouse, who are such a top class side, they're top of the top 14 and playing such good rugby, and their individuals just says it all really. So yeah, we're definitely not going to be shy of motivation, and yeah, we know what challenge is coming.
how's it going?
Hi, Michael.
Good. Just see some pictures there of Josh and Ryan on at Energy Park. Josh seems to be running quite good on it, and that's a tough surface as well. So, I mean, how hopeful are you that the two guys will be able to play, and what sort of contact are they able for?
They should be good to go, yeah. So see how they get through the rest of the week, but yeah, early signs they look good.
No, that's good to hear. And obviously James Lowe misses out this week. I mean, he is a huge weapon, or his left boot, and the rest of his play is a huge weapon in the Leinster Arsenal. How does his absence change your thinking in terms of tactics?
James didn't feature much for us, if you remember, during the build stages earlier on in the year. So because remember he went back to New Zealand for that round 3 and 4 games. So you've seen the guys. Jimmy's been good this year. Hugo, obviously, you've just had in. Jordan Larmour was unlucky to miss out, probably in some of those games as well. So he obviously played the last 16 game, missed it in the quarterfinals. So the competition is good regardless there. So we're reasonably comfortable there. Guys even away, there was some guys featured okay. We're okay. Yep.
And just even there on Jordan Larmour, I mean, he has been not getting as much game time, I'd say, as he probably would have wanted and all that. How has he dealt with that, and what are you seeing in training?
Jordan's unbelievable. Like he's as good as you can get really in terms of character in the group. Bundle of energy the whole time. How he manages some of, I guess, the disappointing selections maybe at different stages. He just gets on with it. He's just excited to get back in. The next opportunity he gets to be as good as he can possibly be. So, he's been excellent.
I was just saying to you, last season the Leinster-Toulouse match was probably one of Leinster's best matches of the season, and Toulouse probably feel they left themselves a bit short. I mean, I presume you're expecting a much better performance from them this time.
If you remember, the dynamic was a bit different, wasn't it? Like last year, because the last 16 games were back to back, the home and away. So this year slightly differently. So, and again, the dynamic of the tournament is unusual. So we played Connacht, then we went to South Africa, then we came back, we played Leicester away in the quarterfinal. Then we obviously Munster were playing Toulouse in that game in the Aviva the week before. So Toulouse had that challenge. Obviously, you have to go game going to extra time into penalties. So then you have to deal with the emotional part of that. Then they travel back to France. Then they come back to Dublin. So they probably had a bit more going on leading into that game last year. Again, it's different this year because they've rested up their team at the weekend. We've had a dynamic where we didn't send certain players to South Africa. And what's right, what's wrong, it's impossible to tell. You don't want to play your very best game in the semi-final either and then lose in the final, which is what happened to us. So you want to try and just do enough to get through these games to play your best game when you really need to play your best game. So it's very much on the day though, isn't it? But like when you're playing a semi-final, it's just all about getting to a final.
Do you sense that there's more pressure on Leinster this year? There's kind of a changing of the guard with Johnny Sexton finishing up and Stewart moving on, and just a lot of these players, as Hugo was saying, don't have a European medal yet. Is there a sense that there's extra pressure on this year because of the circumstances?
I don't know. I get the sense that there's that pressure all the time, but that's just me personally. So we always want to be able to deliver because this is what it's all about. This is what we put all the work in for. You know what I mean? Like to be at this moment of the tournament. So you're down to the last 4 teams. You need to get your preparation right going into the game because that's what gives you the best chance. So that's where you need to focus your energy. That's what I try to focus my energy on. What do we need to cover off? Making sure we're prepared as best we possibly can for all the different eventualities that may happen. Because you're up against the best teams in Europe, you know what I mean? That's why they're there. You're down to the last 4 serious teams. Toulouse, the most successful team in the competition. This is where we want to be. There was a period once upon a time where Toulouse were off in the distance, miles ahead of us. You know what I mean? But they're still the teams that we're trying to chase. So, we know we need to be at our very, very best if we want to have a chance of progressing to the next round because of the amount of quality that they have. Because they've the top French talent and they've some serious foreign talent there as well. So but that's always been the case. That's always been the way with Toulouse. So, that's what our focus is at the moment. So just making sure we deliver everything we can this week, which is a knockout game, and see where we are at the end of the weekend then.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Leo.
Thanks, yeah.